Every time the prisoner finished his medicine, he would secretly spit it out when the guards weren't looking. Then, after making sure no one was around, he would take out the antibiotics he had secretly bought, tie the bottle with stolen fishing line, and fasten the other end to his back molar. Once everything was in place, Jack immediately placed the bottle in his mouth, and without hesitation swallowed it. Next, he disassembled the lighter, removed the flint, and hid it beneath his fingernail. After finishing all of this, he used shoelaces to bind his wrist, then placed his thumb on the edge of the table, and with both his right foot and wrist exerting force at the same time, his thumb immediately twisted and dislocated. Although the pain was unbearable, Jack gritted his teeth, not daring to make a sound, because he knew this was his only chance to escape. Jack was a heavy criminal, carrying 2 lives on his conscience, and was under strict supervision, thinking he would spend his entire life in prison. But soon, things took an unexpected turn. Captain John's son was diagnosed with leukemia, and by chance, only Jack's bone marrow could match. With no other option, John had to ask Jack for help, hoping he would donate his bone marrow. What John didn't expect was that Jack immediately agreed, but with one condition: he wanted to be allowed to smoke in prison, and also have free access to the library. John didn't think the conditions were that simple, so he agreed on the spot. What he didn't know was, he had fallen right into Jack's trap. Smoking wasn't Jack's real goal. What he really needed was the prison's food, and the reason for visiting the library was to steal the hospital's detailed blueprints. Once everything was ready, Jack was escorted by guards to the hospital where John's son was staying, but because his hands were cuffed behind his back, he couldn't access the bone marrow. As the others were discussing, Jack quietly slipped the antibiotic bottle into his mouth. Then, under the doctor's strong insistence, Jack was uncuffed and strapped to the bed. As they began to administer anesthesia, little did the doctors know, Jack had already bitten the bottle, swallowing the antibiotics inside. Soon, the doctors noticed something unusual. According to the vital signs, Jack hadn't fallen into an anesthetic state. Just as they were preparing to administer more anesthesia, Jack had already begun his escape.